Okay, picture this. It's one of those brutally cold winter days, Snow is everywhere. And then you see this tiny, impossibly fluffy bird just hopping around like it's nothing. That's a chickadee. And get this, it weighs less than half an ounce. So how in the world does it survive? Well, it turns out it's a masterclass in survival. So let's dive right into the chickadee's winter playbook.
Yeah, that's really the big question here, isn't it? Because that little puffball you see at your bird feeder, it isn't just cute. It is a finely tuned, honest-to-goodness survival machine. And we're going to unpack its incredible playbook for not just getting by, but actually thriving in the absolute harshest winters.
All right, so where do we even begin with this playbook? Well, it all starts with the chickadee's most powerful weapon. And it's something you can't even see. It's all in its head, its mind. It is an absolute marvel of foresight and memory. So, the first play in the book is the strategy called scatter hoarding, and it's just amazing. All through the fall, these little birds make hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of trips every single day. They'll grab one single seed, just one, fly off, and hide it in a totally unique spot. Maybe under a tiny piece of bark, or tucked into a crevice, or deep inside a cluster of pine needles. And the scale of this operation is just mind-boggling. Are you ready for this number? A single chickadee can hide up to 80,000 seeds in just one season. 80,000. But here's the real kicker, the part that's just wild. It remembers where pretty much every single one of them is. This isn't just hoping to stumble upon food later. No, this is a meticulously cataloged mental map of thousands of tiny, life-saving pantries.
Okay, but a super-powered memory? That's only part of the story. You got to look at the chickadee's body itself. I mean, it's basically a piece of high-tech, built-in survival gear, perfectly engineered for the cold.
I mean, to survive the winter, you need a really good coat, right? Well, the chickadee's got that covered. In the fall, it grows about 25% more feathers than it had in the summer. And what it does is it fluffs them all up. This creates all these tiny little pockets of trapped air, and that air acts like the best down jacket you can imagine. It's this incredibly effective layer of insulation that keeps all its precious body heat in and the bitter cold out. But, what happens on those nights that are just brutally cold, when even the best down jacket isn't going to be enough? Well, they've got another trick up their sleeve. A kind of superpower, really. It's called torpor. Basically, it's like a state of controlled hypothermia. They can literally drop their body temperature by as much as 20 degrees Fahrenheit. This just slams the brakes on their metabolism and saves a ton of critical energy. Then, just before the sun comes up, they start shivering like crazy to warm themselves back up to normal, and boom, they're ready to start the day. So, it's not all about individual superpowers, though. Survival isn't a solo mission. Chickadees totally get the power of community, and they also know that finding the right shelter can literally mean the difference between waking up the next morning and not. You see, in the summer, chickadees are, they're kind of loners. They're fiercely territorial. But once winter hits, they do a complete 180. They totally abandon their territories, and they form these small, social flocks. And what's really cool is they often team up with other bird species too. You'll see them with nuthatches and woodpeckers. So why the big change? Well, there are two huge reasons. First, safety in numbers. More eyes on the sky means a way better chance of spotting a predator, like a hawk, before it's too late. And second, it's all about efficiency. With more birds out there looking for food, the flock is just way better at finding those scarce resources. One bird finds a good patch of seeds, and boom, the whole group gets to eat. And beyond that teamwork, finding good shelter, that is absolutely critical. It's not always just the cold temperature that's the real killer. It's the wind chill. That wind can just strip a bird's precious body heat away in minutes. So finding a protected spot to roost for the night, like inside a tree cavity or even an old nest box, that can be a true lifesaver. So, when you step back and look at the whole picture, you realize that for a chickadee, winter is this constant, high-stakes balancing act. It's just incredible. They have to find enough food to fuel that super high metabolism and stay warm all night, but they can't afford to burn too many calories while searching for that food. It is truly life on a knife's edge. A few days without enough food, and that's it. So what exactly are they eating to fuel this whole incredible survival effort? Well, they need calories, specifically high-energy, high-fat foods. They'll go back to all those seeds they hid for sure, but they also scour tree bark for dormant insects in their pupae. And at our backyard feeders, things like black oil sunflower seeds and suet are an absolute goldmine for them. They provide the exact kind of fuel they need to burn all night long just to stay warm.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important part of the story. Because this whole remarkable drama of survival, it's not just happening way out in the deep woods. It's happening right in our own backyards. And that means you, can play a really crucial role in it.
So here's how you can become a chickadee's best friend this winter. It's actually pretty simple. First, put out those high-energy foods we were just talking about. Think suet and sunflower seeds. Second, offer liquid water if you can. A heated bird bath is amazing, because finding water that isn't frozen is a huge challenge. Third, leave dead trees standing if they're safe, or put up some nest boxes. They need places to roost. Fourth, plant native shrubs. They provide natural cover from predators and the wind. And finally, maybe the easiest one, just avoid using pesticides in your yard. That keeps their natural insect food source healthy and available.
So really, the next time you glance out your window and see that tiny little bird at your feeder, I want you to remember what you're really looking at. That's not just a bird, that's a master of endurance. It's a memory champion. It's an incredible living example of resilience. You are literally witnessing one of nature's most remarkable survival stories, and it's playing out right in front of your eyes. So what's the big takeaway? It's simple, really. By providing just a few key things, we become essential partners in their survival. Feed them, protect them, and watch these tiny winter warriors thrive.